In this video, we look at tennis tactical concepts. In broadly speaking, we look at time, space, force, and risk components of these concepts as they apply to tennis. Defining tactics in relation to strategies is we come to understand that strategies are actually ways of playing. They define a plan, a sort of basis by which you might achieve a goal. Tactics have always been historically about outmaneuvering an opponent. So tactics are defined as a process which combines all your physical, technical, mental, and other elements into a situation in order to gain an advantage. However, what you're doing is often applying strategies in a creative way to overcome an opponent who's trying to do the same thing. So strategies are action designed to achieve a certain goal. So if I was playing a match, for instance, and I wanted to make my opponent move, run more than the previous match we played, that would be my strategy. Whereas my tactic is an action or a selected strategy planned to achieve a specific goal. So I take my goal to make the move, but what am I going to do? I'm actually going to aim the ball short and deep, vary that, and maybe side to side. But the actual tactic is what am I doing in order to achieve that strategy. There are 5 basic tennis strategies advocated by the International Tennis Federation Tennis Academy. Basically, the first one is consistency. Try to keep the ball in the court more often than the opponent. The second one is move the opponent around, side to side, front and back, trying to make them make a mistake. The other one is maintaining a good court position yourself, recovering between points so that you are defending the space that the opponent could possibly attack. And then using your strength in order to influence the point and win the games. And then the final one is exploit the opponent's weakness. Tactical concepts are a way of understanding these strategies in order to develop them as a tennis teaching professional. Tactical concepts refer to these generalized ideas based on a strategic goal that can be combined to achieve an outcome in a game. Then we have time tactical concepts. In other words, these are components such as how do I increase time to play your next shot? That becomes using height on the ball, or when you're learning, using a self-rally in order to give yourself time to apply technical cues that you're learning. And the other one is decrease time that the opponent has. This often means that I learn to move into the court, take the ball before it bounces in order to take away the opponent's time because they haven't got that time to recover. Or later on, as my skill develops, I might be hitting the ball harder and that goes back quicker, therefore giving less time for the opponent to respond. Space tactical concepts. These components break down into 2 parts. One is always think about cover the opponent's target area on your side of the court in order to keep the ball in play, anticipate where they're going to play the shot, and then send the ball to court areas to make the opponent move. That could be short, could be deep, could be side to side. If the opponent doesn't retreat, send it at them where they have to back up because they're not really ready to volley. All those are space components. Then there's risk. So when you play the game, should I be in a defensive mode, trying to keep myself in the point, usually height on the ball, returning the shot as best I can to keep it in play? Or am I attacking the opponent's court because I can now take advantage of their court positioning or an easy shot? Or am I maintaining a situation already where it's neutral and not giving them anything because I'm hitting the ball in a place where they can attack me and I'm trying to keep pressure on until they give me a shot that I can attack? All of those are developed around force tactical concepts. And these are ways in which we learn to apply forces on the ball in order to achieve control of that ball. So in tennis, that looks at controlling the trajectory of the ball, the speed of the ball, the depth and direction of that ball, all developed from different cues that allow the body in order to achieve that force on the ball. They also influence the way the ball spins and therefore the power you can place on the ball and how spin affects that bounce and how spin affects the ability of the ball in order to travel distances and still go in the court. All of those are more advanced notions of tactical ideas that connect to technical cues. So in summary, tactical concepts, the subcomponents give you an array of things that in every point you are in effect using in order to try and gain an advantage, and these become useful components to identify through questioning as a tennis teaching professional, because you can allow players understand how these components affect the play. In subsequent videos in this playlist, we'll also look at how you can structure the game environment in such a way that these components come out and players start to realize how to use them in their gameplay. In doing that, and that's the idea of the play, practice, play approach, is we're trying to develop this perception through participation. The concept you've seen in other videos in our playlist talk about in motor learning, perception, action coupling. And it's the ability of the players to coordinate their vision, and that includes their anticipation of time and space of the ball coming, their movement and the force that they can generate when they strike the ball, and how they combine those things becomes a critical aspect of their play. And then this participatory sense-making process only happens when you play with others. And therefore, by playing with others, you start to understand where's the risk in your game against theirs, how can you gain an advantage. And it's only through playing games that you really make sense of how to understand these tactical concepts. Or shown here and below listed are resources associated with today's presentation. And the key message to take home is developing tactical awareness leads to skill development. Thank you for listening.